Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today is August 24, 2025, and we are diving into something pretty fascinating, a concept that's really been buzzing everywhere lately.
Absolutely. It's hard to miss.
Autophagy. It sounds complex, maybe, but once you get it, it really reframes how you think about, your body and health. And actually, before we properly jump in, if you're enjoying these deep dives and want more great insights, definitely check out Mind Expansion Daily.
Yeah, lots of good stuff there.
And while you're there, please hit that like button and subscribe. It genuinely helps us keep making these. Oh, and if you really find this valuable, you can always buy us a coffee. There's a link right in the description. Your support means we can keep digging into topics like this one.
It really does help.
So, our mission today, cut through the noise. Autophagy isn't just some, fad. We want to pull out the key facts from the latest research.
And challenge some of the hype, maybe?
Exactly. Challenge the oversimplification. We're promising some surprising stuff, a deeper look at how this impacts your health, your longevity.
It's definitely more nuanced than often presented.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. What is autophagy, fundamentally? Where did this idea even come from?
Well, the name itself is a great starting point. It's Greek. Auto means self, and phagy means eating.
Self-eating sounds a bit dramatic.
It does, but it literally describes this natural cellular process. Your cells basically recycle damaged or old parts. Think of it as a sophisticated internal cleanup crew.
Okay, a cleanup crew. I like that. Keeps things tidy inside.
Precisely. It's vital for keeping cells healthy, and yeah, there's a strong link to longevity. It wasn't a brand new discovery, though. Kristen Duduve first observed it back in the 60s.
Right.
But it was Yoshinori Osumi who really mapped out the how in the 90s, the detailed mechanisms. That's what won him the Nobel Prize in 2016.
Oh, Sumi, yes. The Nobel Prize. So he figured out the nuts and bolts.
Exactly. It's like this microscopic recycling plant. You have this structure, an autophagosome, like a little bubble,
Okay.
that engulfs the junk, misfolded proteins, worn-out mitochondria, even viruses or bacteria.
So it grabs all the bad stuff.
Then, this bubble fuses with another part called a lysosome, which is full of digestive enzymes.
Like the stomach of the cell.
Sort of, yeah. It breaks down the contents into reusable bits, amino acids, sugars, stuff the cell can use again.
Yeah.
It's incredibly efficient for maintaining balance, what we call cellular homeostasis.
Wow. So it's not just waste disposal, it's actual recycling. That's smart.
It's very smart biology.
Okay, this connects, I think, for a lot of people. We often feel run down, maybe chronic fatigue, weaker immunity, that kind of brain fog as we age. Is this cellular cleanup crew like our built-in defense against that?
That's a really good way to put it. Our cells are resilient, but they face constant battles. Modern life throws a lot at them.
You mean processed foods, stress?
Exactly. Processed foods, pollution, chronic stress, they all create oxidative stress. Basically damage from unstable molecules. And get this, the EPA reported urban particulate matter is up 15% since just 2020. That's a huge extra burden on our cells.
15%. Wow. Okay.
So autophagy becomes even more critical. It clears out that accumulated toxic waste, that damage, and helps rejuvenate the cell. There was a 2022 study, I think Nature Reviews Molecular Cell Biology, showing mice with boosted autophagy had much less oxidative damage. It really highlights its protective role.
So with environmental stress getting worse, our internal cleanup needs to work harder or maybe needs more support?
That's the implication, yeah. Our cells need all the help they can get.
Right. Okay, this is powerful stuff. So how does this self-eating actually happen? What are the triggers? What can we actually do to, turn it on?
The how is pretty intricate. It involves a whole set of genes called ATG genes, autophagy-related genes. Think of them as the control panel. They orchestrate the whole formation of that autophagosome bubble we talked about. And it's dynamic. It doesn't just run constantly. It ramps up when the cell is stressed, like when it's low on nutrients or fighting an infection.
Okay, so stress can actually be a good signal sometime, for this process at least.
In this context, yes. Certain kinds of stress act as signals, and the research points to some key ones we can influence. Fasting is a big one.
Intermittent fasting, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Mimicking starvation basically tells cells, okay, resources are scarce, time to recycle. A 2023 study found a 30% jump in autophagy in people after just a 16-hour fast.
30%, just 16 hours. That's pretty significant.
It is. We have direct human data on that. Then there's exercise.
Makes sense. Working out stresses the muscles.
Right. That stress activates autophagy to repair the muscle tissue, make it stronger. A 2024 paper linked moderate exercise, like 30 minutes of running, to similar boosts.
Okay, fasting, exercise. Anything else? Food related?
Yeah, certain nutrients seem to stimulate it too. Compounds like resveratrol,
That's the stuff in red wine.
that's the one, and spermidine, which you find in things like soybeans, aged cheese, mushrooms. A 2023 review covered some of these.
Interesting. So it's not just about not eating, but also what you eat, potentially.
It seems that way, yes.
Mhm.
Specific compounds can nudge the process along.
So understanding these triggers, fasting, exercise, maybe certain foods, gives us some actual levers to pull for cellular health. It's not just passive.
Absolutely. It's about taking agency.
So what's the potential payoff here? If we start using these levers, what impact could it have long term?
The potential is quite profound, especially thinking about chronic diseases. Conditions like type 2 diabetes or Alzheimer's often involve buildups of damaged proteins, cellular gunk.
Because autophagy isn't working well enough.
Exactly. Impaired autophagy seems to be a factor. A 2023 review in Nature Aging touched on this. So boosting autophagy might help prevent or slow down those kinds of diseases. It offers a different angle,
Yeah.
Less reliance maybe on just waiting for a problem and then taking medication, more focus on lifestyle to maintain cellular health proactively.
Empowering people to influence their own biology. I like that.
That's the core idea.
Okay, so the benefits sound huge. Reducing inflammation, boosting immunity, better energy, maybe even longer life. That's the stuff everyone's excited about. But
Mm.
is it really the cure-all, it sometimes sounds like, or are there catches?
The benefits are significant.
Hmm.
We see reduced inflammation because it clears out damaged mitochondria.
Yeah.
Those are the cell's energy factories.
Yeah.
But they can cause trouble when damaged. A 2021 study showed a 25% drop in inflammatory markers in mice.
Okay.
It boosts immunity by degrading pathogens. There was even a 2023 paper showing it has clear components of the SARS-CoV-2 virus.
Wow, antiviral too.
Potentially, yes. And people often report better energy, mental clarity. A 2024 study linked it to better cognition in older adults.
Makes sense if your cells are running cleaner.
And then, yes, the big one, lifespan. That 2022 Cell study showing a 20% longer life in mice with boosted autophagy. That really got people's attention.
20%. In mice, sure, but still.
Exactly. It fuels a lot of human research. And it's why you see things like intermittent fasting blowing up. You mentioned that X post with 600,000 views on a fasting video. The hype is real,
It's a but.
but, and this is really important, it's not a simple more is always better situation. It's definitely not a cure-all. It's more like a double-edged sword.
Double-edged. How so?
Well, while autophagy clears out damage and can prevent cancer initiation, in some established late-stage cancers, it seems overactive autophagy can actually help the tumor survive and grow. A 2023 cancer research paper highlighted this.
Whoa, okay, so it could potentially fuel some cancers. That's
Yeah.
critical context.
It is. It means we can't just blindly try to max out autophagy all the time. This complexity really challenges those blanket recommendations you sometimes see, like pushing extreme fasting or super restrictive diets like keto for everyone as an autophagy booster.
Right, it needs to be more tailored, not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. Nuance is key.
Huh.
Understand the context, avoid extremes, maybe talk to a professional. Don't just follow the latest trend without thinking it through for your own situation.
Solid advice. Okay, so given this power and this complexity, how does our modern world interact with it? All the pollution, the diets, the pace of life.
Yeah, modern life throws some major curveballs at this process. That urban air pollution we mentioned, the 2024 NOAA data showing record heat, more particulates, that ramps up oxidative stress, potentially overwhelming our natural autophagy.
So our cleanup crew gets swamped.
It can, yeah. And our diets, lots of sugar, processed fats,
Yeah.
they also seem to impair the process. A 2023 study linked high-fat diets specifically to reduced autophagic flux, basically, slowing down the cleanup.
So the standard Western diet is kind of working against it.
It seems likely. And then there's the bigger picture, like climate change. NOAA's 2024 data shows that 1.2 degrees C rise. That could worsen environmental stressors in ways we don't fully grasp yet, and the research on how autophagy adapts to these large-scale shifts is still pretty limited.
So we're stressing the system more, but don't fully know how resilient it is long-term.
That's a fair summary. But on the flip side, science is pushing forward. There are clinical trials looking at drugs to modulate autophagy.
Drugs? Like what?
Rapamycin is a big example. It inhibits a pathway called MTO.
MTO sounds familiar.
Right, MTO is like a nutrient sensor. When there are plenty of nutrients, MTO is active and it actually suppresses autophagy, It tells the cell, no need to recycle, plenty of supplies coming in.
Okay.
So rapamycin inhibits mTOR, essentially tricking the cells into thinking they're fasting, which kicks autophagy into gear. They're testing it for things like Parkinson's, with some promising early results mentioned in a 2024 trial listing.
So like a pharmaceutical shortcut to fasting's benefits?
That's the idea. But, of course, there are potential downsides.
Always a catch.
Pretty much. There are concerns about side effects with drugs like rapamycin and things like immunosuppression. And the long-term effects in humans aren't really clear yet. A 2024 BMJ critique pointed this out.
Immunosuppression. Yeah, that's serious.
It is. And it raises questions, about the push to market these drugs, perhaps before we have all the long-term safety data. There's potential profit involved, which always warrants caution.
Right. The gap between the lab promise and real-world long-term safety.
Exactly. We need more rigorous human studies.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. So pulling it all together, if you had to give the big takeaway, looking past the headlines and the marketing, what's the essential message about autophagy?
I think the critical takeaway is autophagy is genuinely powerful. It's fundamental to health. But the hype often oversells it as this magic bullet.
Driven by clicks and product sales.
Often, yeah. Media buzz, the wellness industry pushing supplements or quick fixes, and even the pharmaceutical angle with drugs like rapamycin that BMJ review highlighted the lack of long-term human data, suggesting maybe a rush towards profit.
And the public enthusiasm, those X posts you mentioned.
Right, that enthusiasm is great, but often lacks the scientific nuance, which just amplifies misunderstandings about the risks, like that cancer connection, and even that climate change link. It might make autophagy more important for resilience in the future, maybe due to food security issues, but the research just isn't there yet. It's a real disconnect between the buzz and the solid evidence sometimes.
So the message is, be critical.
Be critical, be skeptical of quick fixes, favor evidence-based strategies, things we know work like balanced diet and exercise, and personalize your approach. Don't just chase the autophagy trend blindly.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so let's recap quickly. Autophagy. Our body's amazing cellular recycling system.
Yep, cleaning up the junk, reusing parts.
Triggered naturally by things like moderate exercise, fasting, maybe some specific foods like those with resveratrol or spermidine.
Right, those are key levers.
The benefits are potentially huge. Less inflammation, better immunity, energy, maybe longevity.
Definitely promising.
But crucially, it's complex. Not always more is better. Potential risks, especially with cancer, need for nuance, caution about hype, and quick fixes.
You got it. That's the balanced view.
Okay, well, I'm actually challenging myself this week. Maybe try a mindful 16-hour fast, see how it feels, Kickstart things gently.
Listen to your body. That's wise.
What about you listening? What might you do to explore this inner recycling power? And here's something to think about. How could understanding this process empower you personally against modern health stresses? Or even shift how we all think about aging in this changing world?
Deep questions. Worth pondering.
Definitely. We'd love to hear your thoughts, actually. Do you agree with our summary? Disagree? Let us know in the comments below. And hey, we're trying to build a real global community here. Tell us where you're listening from. We'd love to see how far this deep dive reaches.
Yeah, that would be cool to see.
For more deep dives packed with info like this, please visit Mind Expansion Daily. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us out. And finally, if you found value here, consider buying us that coffee. The link's in the description. It fuels more research.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep expanding your mind.